Hello ladies. So I did have 2 other videos that were going to be explaining what I'm going to explain now, but my computer deleted them. So on the 3rd of June I had a doctor's appointment. I met with my new doctor and we talked about a few things. One of them was I was really worried that because I was O negative blood and my partner is A positive blood, that that would be the cause of miscarriage and it would be harder to conceive and everything. And so we kind of talked a bit about that, and she informed me that it is everything that I was told it is, that if the baby would be automatically A positive blood. It would never be O negative blood. And that it can cause miscarriage and everything, but it's not as important to get the organ shot as people have been saying. It is really important to get it, but I could go up to 12 weeks before having the shot and it wouldn't do anything. You just have to get it in the first trimester. So that kind of made me feel a little bit better. And because I have been pregnant in the past, they've just ended in miscarriage. She doesn't believe that I have any problems getting pregnant. It could just be, life with stress or, things like that. And so I also have a few other health problems. I have IBS and inflammable bowel disease and stuff like that. So we're testing me for Crohn's right now and getting all that stuff out of the way, because she doesn't want to sit there and get me pregnant and then all of a sudden I have to terminate because of some sort of health reason. So what she did was she ordered a whole bunch of blood work, and I went, I'm gonna say like the 10th. Yeah. No, sorry, the 9th. I went the 9th of June, and they got me to get a CBC, which is a complete blood count. Blood count. It measures several components and features of your blood, including red blood cells, which carry oxygen. They also tested me for rubella, because I did let her know that I had just got my shots that I should have had as a kid, that they said that my body it didn't have. So I got all those shots last year and the year before that. It took about a year for me to get everything. So yeah, so she just wanted to make sure I got tested for that. They also did I don't know how to say this, estradiol. ESTRADIOL. It measures the amount of the word I can't say in your blood. It's produced in the ovaries and adrenal glands and the placenta during pregnancy. I also got a follicle stimulating hormone test. What it does is it controls the menstrual cycles and production of eggs by the ovaries. The reason she wanted to do that is because with my PCOS, even on birth control, it never made it regular, so I always have it for months at a time. Right now it's on, I think, day 19, and it slows down and then starts and slows down and starts, and it's never been regular, ever. And so I let her know, how it sometimes can go on for 3 months, and then I have to get put on medication to make it stop because I'm just bleeding so much. And they also got the LH blood test, luteinizing hormone. It is a hormone released by the pituitary gland located in the underside of the brain in women. It increases the LH level in mid-cycle, and this is pretty much an ovulation test to see if I'm ovulating. And then I got a progesterone test. It pretty much just tests how much is in my blood. It's produced by the ovaries and plays a key role in pregnancy. And it's pretty much, it lets you know whether or not your body will let you get pregnant or not. And then I also got prolactin. It's another one that's by the pituitary gland in the brain. It plays a good role in the health of women and men. Its main role is, however, to stimulate the production of milk in women after childbirth. I don't know if these babies work or not. And then they also tested me for thyroid and chickenpox and shingles. So that is the blood work that they did. I'm assuming that it was okay, because I haven't heard from them, and it's been about like 3 weeks now. It's the 22nd of June now, and so I haven't heard from them, and so I'm assuming it's good. Most doctors, their rule is, if we're quiet, then it's good news. So I'm gonna hope that everything is okay. My husband is going to be getting his little fishies tested. He's going to come with me on my appointment on the 24th, and he's going to get all checked out and everything. The reason I waited so long to make another doctor's appointment too is because she wanted to do a pap smear and everything, and I am so uncomfortable doing it whenever Shark Week's going, so I didn't want to make an appointment, but it seems to just keep going, so I can't really put it off any longer. And so I also kind of want her to, know, and maybe, something's up and she can actually see, so I might as well just suck it up, bite the bullet, just deal with it. So I have an appointment on the 24th. And so we're going to do those tests and everything. Another thing that I totally forgot to bring up in my doctor's appointment with her is I have to take melatonin to go to sleep. I've been taking it for about 1.5 years now, every day. And I sometimes, don't sleep. I can't sleep without melatonin, at all. I tried to for 2 weeks this month, and it completely screwed me over. I've always had trouble sleeping, always had trouble, and melatonin was working for the last 1.5 years, but then it started to stop working, and I had to take so much of it. I was taking the 10 milligram ones, and I was taking 8 or 9 a night. And I was only sleeping 2 hours, 3 hours, and so without it, I just sleep whenever I can. Sometimes I go 2-3 days without sleeping, but I need to talk to her about something that I can do to help sleep as well, because I heard that melatonin is really, really bad for you, especially if you're trying to get pregnant or are pregnant or anything like that, so I don't really want to mess this up. And so I want to see if she can find something that would be able to help me out, because I could use some sleep really bad. I'm not sure what else I have to talk about right now, but yeah, I'll be back June 24th and let you know how the doctor's appointment goes. Alright, so I had my doctor's appointment. Oh gosh, I can't remember what day it is now. I think it was the 23rd I had it. It's the 2nd of July right now. I'm sorry. I'm kind of bad with keeping up with this. But anyways, had the appointment and we talked about my results for everything, and I'm fine. I don't have Crohn's, God. And it says that I'm ovulating, and it says that my hormone levels are fine. I'm not sure if I really believe it. Just because I can still grow a frickin' beard, and you know what? I blame my uncles for telling me to eat mashed potatoes when I was a kid, because they said it would put hair on my chest, and it did. I have hair on my chest. But, yeah, so all my test results came back fine. Like, everything came back fine. So she ended up sending everything to a fertility clinic, so now we're on the waiting list for that. It's going to be 4 to 6 months before we hear from them. It doesn't exactly mean it's going to be 4 to 6 months till we have an appointment. So we're pretty much just going to have to see what the internet says for some stuff to try, because, you know, some people have some weird home remedies that work for some people, and so I'm kind of curious to see, you know, if it would work for us. But yeah, I've been taking my temperature every morning. I'm not really sure how, like, low of a drop it's supposed to be whenever you ovulate. I had one that I went from like 97.6 down to like 96.3, which was like my second day off of Shark Month, which this month it lasted, I think, no, 24 days it was in total, which was forever long. I thought it was never going to end. But it did, thank God. So yeah, and I wanted to bring this up in the last video, and I didn't, but there's an app, which I have one of those erase board calendars, so I can't exactly, like, keep track of, you know, when my last period was, you know, when my next one is, especially when sometimes it, like, completely will skip a period. Those are what I call my 40-day cycles, because then it's literally 40 days until, you know, my next one is, and so, like, it's hard for me to keep track with a calendar, and so I downloaded, because I've been looking for a few years, actually, a calendar, like, a period tracker that would work for somebody that doesn't have regular periods, and on a lot of them, they're just like, you know, irregular periods is like, it's off by like maybe 5 days. Mine's a lot worse than that. It's like 5 weeks off, and so I needed one that, you know, it could predict it if it was off all the time, which it doesn't predict it to the day, but it gets pretty close. Like, it's only like maybe 3 days off, and it's right. It's called PC. So it's that little pink one there, and whenever it opens, it tells you like how many days you have left until your next period. This one actually does a double for me. So it's 14 days if I was to be having a regular cycle. And if not, then it actually has another one that's like later on. And it'll just start counting from that one later on. And so what you can do is, so I've been taking my temperature every morning, so it has an actual chart that shows, you know, what date it is, what your temperature was, you know, the spike, drop, things like that. It takes a couple of months for it to start predicting when your period is, especially if it's off. It took mine about 3 months before it was just like, okay, well, you don't exactly have regular ones, so we're going to assume. Plus, you can also, if you don't want to wait and you know yours is always, like, on time from that specific day, it actually has a, I don't know what you would call it, like a setup, so that way it'd be, like, every 28 days, and it regularly lasts, you know, 7 days or something, and then it would put that and it predicts when, you know, your 2-week spot is to when you should be ovulating, which doesn't happen with me. It tries to, like, it tries to say that today I'm ovulating, but my temperature so does not say that, so I don't think it's right exactly in that sense. But it's, so far it's been good to me. And, you know, whenever you do actually get pregnant and everything, it also has pill reminders in case you're very forgetful. And it'll have period and ovulation reminders. So if you're really, really busy and you don't remember, you know, when you're supposed to be ovulating, you can set up an alarm. So it'll, like, hit you in the morning or in the afternoon when you get home from work or something. And it'll be like, boom, baby making time. And same with, you know, period. I'd be like, sorry, girl, but this is your warning. it's happening tomorrow. Or whenever you do get pregnant, there you can switch it over to pregnancy, and then it'll give you cool facts every day about how your baby's doing, how big it is, things like that, how much weight you should be gaining, and lets you know how far along you are, how many days to your due date, and things like that. And it also has, like, a chat place, so that way you can actually, like, talk to other women and everything. Like, it's actually probably the best free. And I forgot to mention this. It's totally free. That's the part I like. I don't like paying for apps. I think it's silly. But yeah. And then also, I am not using ovulation strips because I still feel like my hormones are, like, all wonky and everything. So it sits there and says that I ovulate every day. Yeah. For like a month. So I went through, I think, 3 different brands. I bought them offline because here it's like $60 for 20 ovulation strips, and, you know, for somebody that has, like, a 40-day cycle, that's kind of a lot of money to just be spending on pee strips. I'm not okay with it. I won't spend that kind of money on, you know, that. As much as I really want it, I just can't sit there and spend that much money on it. So I was ordering off of Amazon and everything, and, you know, there was a lot of people that had, you know, good results, and it worked for them. It just didn't work for me. I thought they were super sensitive. Like, the fact that it was totally going to be embarrassed that I'm saying this, but I asked my husband to pee in a cup, and then we tested it, and it said he was ovulating, so I don't really believe it, and it just kept doing that. So it's like, whatever, we'll wing it some other way. And I had problems trying to find pregnancy tests that weren't giving me false negatives, because there'd be sometimes it would be on a 40-day cycle, but I don't know if it's a 40-day cycle or if I am pregnant or not, so I, like, go pee stick happy. And there's a few times that it would be, like, positive, later that day negative, try again the next morning, negative, 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 a week later, positive, 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 positive. And so then it's like, okay, so then I'd, like, make an appointment, everything, and then all of a sudden it'd be like negative, 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 and I'm like, I don't get it. And they're like, negative, and I'm like, I don't understand it. So, like, those are even, I've noticed the blue dye ones. I heard about the evap lines, or evape lines, or whatever, where they give you false negatives. So I only use the red dye ones now, which they've been pretty good to me so far. I had a few false negatives with them, but I don't know. I have a weird body. It's going to be hard. But I'm using the Easy Home pregnancy strips. So we will see in between 14 to August days whether or not, you know, it works, or if this month it worked, or whatever. See you next month, ladies.